Hi, my name's Catherynne Valente. Okay, obviously I'm actually Infinite Crisis Wonder Woman, but they don't sell mid-list genre writer who dropped out of her medieval studies program action figures. Cat did her best. Anyway, I have a book coming out on November 1st called The Habitation of the Blessed. It's the first of a trilogy about the kingdom of Prester John. What's the kingdom of Prester John? I'm so glad you and everyone else ever asked. Instead of having to explain over and over who this dashing fellow was, I decided to share the history of Prester John with you, the internet, through the magic of YouTube. And to help me, I've brought along some friends. Watch and marvel as I justify both my gargantuan student loans and my running tab at the local comic shop. So in 1165, a mysterious letter was delivered to Emperor Emmanuel Comnenus in Constantinople, which was pretty much where it was at in 1165. It more or less went down like it always does, with that guy in every office who desperately needs to show you that video of the panda sneezing. I'm busy. No, but dude, you gotta see this. I'm doing emperor things. Seriously, it's so awesome. Oh, fine, show me. Hey, sup? My name's John, and I'm a priest, but I'm totally also a king, both at the same time. And because of this, God and me are like total besties. What I'm saying is that I'm better than you in every way. Hey, I'm pretty great too. Emperor and stuff. My kingdom's so amazing. We have griffins and cyclopses and unicorns and phoenixes and lions. Oh, and the Fountain of Youth, so we all live forever. We have lions too. Well, mine are better lions. Plus magical seashells that heal any illness, poison-detecting jewels, fawns and satyrs, and even some pretty gnarly cannibals. It's like a freaking circus over here. Only with diamonds and milk and honey and 24-hour pizza delivery. Anyway, life is pretty sweet out here. Even my butler is a pope. What? How can he be a pope? There's only one pope, and I gotta tell you, he's a total drag. Okay, so they didn't talk back and forth like this. But the letter was added to over the years by monks and priests who were into Prester John like a sixth grader is into Twilight. So you have to understand that it's a dialogue, the whole medieval world in conversation with itself, creating this fantastical kingdom in a massively multiplayer offline fanfiction-orama. Right, the snag, because every good Mary Sue has a tiny flaw for everyone else to overlook. And Prester John was very specific about his religious orientation, as people tended to be in 1165, and what he was an historian. Who in the what? Well, Nestorians thought that Christ had two natures, the human and the divine, and that these were not the same thing. The Holy Spirit was kind of like a symbiote, stuck to Jesus' mortal body as he did carpentry things, and occasionally it would turn loaves to fishes and things like that. However, neither the Eastern nor Western churches rolled that way. Wait a minute, that's ridiculous. There's only one Jesus, everyone knows that. That's like the whole point. I know, right? Just because extraterrestrial parasites fell to Earth and happened upon Peter Parker doesn't mean it's part of his essential nature or whatever. Dude, if Christ isn't one incarnated being, indivisible and miraculous, then what are we even doing with our lives? Yeah, besides, what about Eddie Brock? Was he, like, also Jesus? Because if it's just a symbiote, then Jesus wasn't really special at all. He's just, like, this guy, you know? Like, when he's teamed up with Sandman and they were on that roof, that was awesome. But would it have been just as awesome if it were, like, Peter or James the Lesser? I mean, he's the Lesser. Nobody cares about that stupid movie. Oh, whatever! You lined up for a week to see it. I saw you. I was there. Why do I even bother with you? Anyway, this whole idea spread like a YouTube video, and like some videos, even though it was obviously fake, people really believed it. And the more ridiculous it got, the more people believed. If you let your priests be kings, you can have griffins too. I would like to ride a griffin, please. Also, I will totally come and save you with my magical army if you man up and invade Jerusalem. There is no way this could possibly go wrong. Dudes, you will be so sorry when Prester John gets here. Really? Where did you say you lived? Somewhere in India. Africa, maybe. East. Generally, you don't know us. East? You mean like where we live? Mission after mission was dispatched to the east to find this magical king, which resulted in no griffins, but a whole lot of dead dispatchers. But at no point did anyone say, you know, sometimes people just make things up. Just for fun. They don't even know why they do it. They just do. Because in the medieval world, there was no Mythbusters, and there was no way to tell that something like that was untrue. It was written down, and he talked about lions and diamonds and Jesus and other things that are real, so why not? No one was being deliberately stupid. It's just that information was processed not by Snopes.com, but by some guy in your village. And he heard this one time there was this guy who ate Pop Rocks and drank Coke and he died. Eventually, people started to make these strange political decisions based on the letter. Frederick Barbarossa, Holy Roman Emperor, we should totally let priests be king so that we can all ride around on unicorns and live forever, because that is totally what will happen. What do you think? Want to abdicate and let some German priests run things? No. And more of the world was getting explored without turning up phoenixes or monopods or griffins or a king who was also a priest. India was finally determined to be distinctly lacking an immortal king riding a unicorn, and one continent was as good as another, since India had often been used as shorthand for really far away, and all eyes turned to Africa, that other place Europeans knew nothing about. When the Portuguese invaded Ethiopia, they demanded to be taken to John on the double quick. Ah. They were brought to the king, since basically the Ethiopian court didn't know what else to do. I have no idea what you're talking about. Prester John? Awesome dude. Has all this sweet stuff. Sorry. Is it cool by you if we just call you Prester John from here on out? It would look great on our report. Crazy white people do what crazy white people gotta do. But eventually history got on with it, and it became pretty clear there never was a place like that. There was totally a place like that. And India and Africa were no more magical than anywhere else. And then one day this writer showed up. And she said, I want it all to have been true, because the world really does need griffins and monopods and unicorns and fire-breathing dinosaurs and rivers of stone and impossible, beautiful stories in it. And so she wrote a book. Wait, so it was just made up all along? It wasn't even a little true? Well, some people think it was a folkloric version of Genghis Khan. Some people think it was allegorical, you know, city of God and all that. Augustine, right? That bums me right the fuck out. Hey, wait, am I Jesus?